My mother-in-law caused so much heartbreak, so I didn't tell her that her son had passed.
Ooh,
this is
You
icky.
could be the a-hole.
Here's the background. I am a 52-year-old woman, and my husband was 54 when he passed. I met him in May of 1998. It was pretty much love at first sight.
Okay.
I was the love of his life. He loved me more than I could have ever expected anyone to love me. By the way, this comes from Ambear72 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. He was living with his mom at the time. I don't know why, but she was very controlling of him. A red flag I didn't pay attention to. She caused a lot of petty drama. Things like getting mad because he wouldn't go home for dinner. He came to see me when he got off work and stayed until like 10ish. In August, things got crazy, so he moved in with me. In 2000, he was in a really bad car accident that should have taken his life. He hit the steering wheel and it severed his aorta.
That's like really bad.
Because of his size and his love for me and my son from my first marriage, he stayed alive. He was in the hospital for over a month. Every weekend his mom would come to visit. She tried to take over his care and tried to make it so that they had to ask her permission to do any type of treatment. We were married. We got married in August of 99, so they weren't able to allow it. She was horrible. One day, my son, who was 5 at the time, was sitting nicely in a chair watching cartoons while we were visiting my husband. Due to his injuries, they had him in a medical-induced coma. Anyway, Karen came in and changed the channel to football. My son got upset and started to cry. He was being really well behaved, and it's hard for a 5-year-old to sit and stay quiet in a hospital. But dude, Tennessee is playing.
I gotta watch the game.
Come on, dude. They're playing. It's preseason.
Who cares if your dad's in the hospital? I'm not gonna consider your feelings.
Just because he's in a medically induced coma doesn't mean we stop football.
Yeah,
Like,
when he died, you need to learn. You need to grow up, kid.
kid's the a-hole. You know what I got from the story? This kid's an a-hole.
Kid's a problem.
She called him a crybaby, B.
Yeah, because he's 5.
Of course. He is a crybaby. And put the TV back on the cartoons. I did tell her that he was watching the TV, and she told me, well, Jeff likes the Raiders, and they're playing today.
Oh, is that
The husband.
Oh.
Yeah, that guy. I told her that Jeff isn't able to watch TV, and that they would prefer my son to watch TV anyways. She caused so much drama. I swear if she could have had him transferred to the city she lived in, she would have. Fast forward to 2011. Jeff and I were in the process of separating. He was on some medicines that made him mean, hateful, and aggressive. I didn't know it was the medicines that were making him act that way. When we decided to separate, he chose to go back to his mom's while I stayed in our home. We had 4 kids. My first son was now 15, my second 7, and my twin girls 5. We worked things out, but due to some legal issues with some things he had to go to his mom's for, we were on good terms. We were good when he left us. But she took that time that he was there to manipulate him and talk all kinds of crap about me. She was able to convince him to come get the kids on Christmas and not bring them back. She talked to him into pretty much kidnapping the kids. She thought they would be better off with her.
The mother-in-law? She's trying to take your kids?
She's trying to puppeteer
Yeah, him. So
him
that,
to take the kids.
Ugh, so manipulative.
I was a stay-at-home mom when all of this went down, and I didn't have much money. I was able to get a full-time job, but it didn't start until February. She even got a lawyer in the town I lived in. She lived 6 hours away. They would get up really early and come to town and not tell me. Take him to his doctor appointments, go see lawyers, and then leave. She would have all the kids call me on the way home and tell me they were just in town and they were sad that they didn't get to see me. So they live 6 hours away and will wake up really early to take them to everything they need to go to.
Wait, sir.
So she took them and kidnapped them, and she can't say anything because she doesn't have enough money to get a lawyer to charge them.
Oh my God.
And
my God.
And since they're technically still married.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not
fine.
kidnapping because it's with their dad.
Long story short, I represented myself when we went to court. I was able to maintain custody and get divorced from Jeff? Representing yourself?
Nice.
I feel like
it sucks because it seems like Jeff is like the medicine is causing this, but
but still,
no one's no one's on OP's side right now.
Yeah. I wonder if you could divorce someone with ChatGPT better than a lawyer could. I think we're at that age. If you had an earpiece.
Your Honor, have you considered that 20% of, and then it just goes into like really specific
data. There is a lot more to this, but for time's sake, I'll end it here. The court hearing was in January. In February, he called me on my birthday and said he missed us and wanted to come back home. He was on new medicines that made him wake up. and he realized how bad things really were, and he was not happy with his mom. He was horrified at everything that had happened, and because he was on the wrong antidepressants, he didn't realize what had happened.
That's actually really scary to think that like the medicine could, which it can totally like change your personality.
Like alter your brain waves and stuff. When he was given the correct medication, it took him out of the fog and he was able to see things clearly. So he came back home and we ended up getting remarried 12-12-12.
Wow.
She called him before the wedding and begged him not to marry me. We should have never gotten a divorce. His lawyer even pretty much said that. He told us that she should have stayed out of it and let us live our lives. Jeff had many health problems. He had epilepsy, high blood pressure, and a plethora of other things wrong with him. Walking was almost impossible, so he stayed home most of the time. On the weekend of September 9th, as we were celebrating my oldest son's birthday, his grandparents were in town, and we all went to visit them at a hotel. We had a great day and was getting ready to leave. I went to get the car, and as I was waiting, my son called me and said there was something wrong with Dad. I went back to the room, and he was panicking. He couldn't get up, and he couldn't really move or talk. We called 911 and realized he was having a stroke. The next day, we thought he was doing good until his brain swelled. I called his mom and told her about what was going on. Monday, I talked to the doctor and nurses, and they let me know that his best case scenario, if we were to come out of this, would be he would have to live in a nursing home on a ventilator. That was the absolute basic scenario. That's not what Jeff would have wanted. So I made the difficult choice of letting the suffering end and let him go to heaven.
I forgot about the title. I forgot about the title of this story.
That's tough.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
Dang. Dude, that is such a tough thing to do.
Oh,
Choice to make, too.
God. Yeah.
Just being brain dead.
Yeah. I mean, like, you can't do anything.
I told his mom all of this. She told me not to take him off life support. She wanted me to wait another week to see if he would come out of this coma and be okay. I told her I was told by the doctor, but she wanted me to wait. I told her everything. I told her that Tuesday he would be taken off life support. She did not come down to see him, not once. She tried to bash me on Facebook by saying thank you for telling me my son passed on Facebook. I told her he hasn't passed yet, that she had 24 more hours. I made the decision to donate his organs, so it was going to be a few more days so they could get things situated. By the way, you can get situated with us every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile and we go live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch.
Oh my God. What?
Just
really heartbreaking. And for her to be like, also, it doesn't even seem like, OP was like, oh, I didn't tell her. It seems like OP
she's being very informative.
Told her.
Yeah.
And maybe we finish the story and we find out, oh, like she didn't tell her on the day. Seems like you've told her multiple times what the deadline is for this, and she doesn't care.
And it's really weird that not only your son is at the hospital, he doesn't have much time left. You haven't seen him?
Yeah. No, this mother-in-law is terrible.
That is wild. Ugh. This is where I could be the a-hole. The nurse asked for permission to give Karen the information about Jeff. I told the nurse, no. This was Tuesday. Jeff didn't end up passing away until Friday, the 16th of September. Karen did not make the trip to say goodbye. She didn't even come to give her grandchildren any support. Because of the fuss she caused on Facebook, a lot of people told her off and how she can still see him. She didn't even come to his funeral.
That's just terrible.
I never liked her, and she never liked me. She caused her son so much grief and heartache when he was alive. There's so much I'm leaving out here due to length and time. So am I the a-hole for not letting the nurse talk to her about my husband's terminal condition?
Ooh, you're not the a-hole.
Oh my gosh, no!
Not at all.
Which ways does the interstate go?
2 ways. And she never drove down to see your husband.
Yeah.
Or her son.
And she had more than 24 hours to go see him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Didn't it?
Ridiculous. Man.
That's so crazy. I think she felt so prideful that whenever people backlashed on her on Facebook, she's like, I'm done. I can't do anything.
Yeah. She's like, everyone hates me. You're keeping my
Take a hate comment. We take them all the time.
Yeah.
Look at
us. We take them like a champ.
Yep. Just get hit. What do?
Get back up. But that is the end of that story.
That was a bummer.
Yeah.
Sorry, friends.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I hope everyone's okay.